All right, everybody, welcome to this special episode of The Deep Dive. Today, we're going to try something a little different.
Different good.
Yeah, different good, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to put your knowledge of drug development to the test.
Oh.
Yeah, in a fun way, though.
Ooh, I like it.
It's going to be a little game show style.
Okay.
Don't worry, you don't need a PhD for this.
That's right. And heck, even I might learn something new today.
Okay, so first, just a teeny tiny bit of background for anyone who might be new to this whole thing.
Right.
So you've got these organizations, right, like the ICH and the FDA,
Yes.
and they're kind of like the big players in the drug development world.
Absolutely.
The ICH, so that's the International Council for Harmonization,
Mm-hmm.
they're all about making sure everyone's playing by the same rules.
Exactly. So no matter where in the world you're developing a drug, you know the process is going to be pretty similar.
So it's like a level playing field for drug development around the globe.
Yeah, I like that. Think of it as like a global recipe book for making sure drugs are developed safely and effectively.
And then you have the FDA here in the U.S.,
Right.
Food and Drug Administration, which I'm sure most people have at least heard of.
Oh, yeah.
And they're the ones who give the final stamp of approval before a drug can actually hit the shelves.
They're like the gatekeepers, making sure any drug that's available to the public meets super strict standards for safety and effectiveness.
Okay, so that's our super quick crash course in like drug development 101.
There you go.
But now, are you ready to put your knowledge to the test?
Bring it on. I love a good challenge.
All right, let's play What's That Term?
Ooh, I like it.
Okay, so drug development, as we've hinted at, has a lot of jargon.
Oh, it definitely does.
Like a lot.
Sometimes I even get lost in it.
Yeah, it's a whole new language. So can you decipher these tricky terms?
All right, let's hear them.
Question number 1. What's a batch in drug manufacturing?
Ooh, okay.
Is it A, a group of scientists who always eat lunch together?
Haha.
Tempting. B, a secret code word used by pharmacists.
Okay.
Or C, a specific quantity of a drug made at one time following an exact recipe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to have to go with C on this one.
You are absolutely right.
I knew it. Ding, ding, ding.
A batch is all about consistency.
Exactly. Think of it like baking a cake.
Mm.
If you want the same delicious results every time, you need to follow the recipe precisely.
So you don't want one batch of, say, painkillers to be super strong and the next one to be like...
Right. Totally ineffective.
Exactly.
That's why the FDA has all these rules about how batches are made and tested. They want to make sure every single tablet or capsule or whatever it is in that batch is identical.
Got it. So it's all about that uniform character and quality. I'm trying to use the lingo.
You got it. You're picking it up quick.
Okay, let's move on to question number 2. What on earth is a tamper-evident feature?
Ooh, another good one.
Is it A, a special handshake used by drug developers?
That would be fun, but no.
B, a security system to protect your medicine from meddling?
Okay, maybe.
Or C, a tiny GPS tracker hidden in each pill?
No, that would be impressive technology. But I think I'm going to stick with B for this one.
You are absolutely right. Give yourself a pat on the back.
Yes, I'm on a roll.
It's those little seals on your pill bottles or those special caps.
Yeah, the ones we all struggle to open sometimes.
Exactly, and they might seem like a minor detail,
Right.
but they play a huge role in making sure that what you're taking is safe and hasn't been messed with.
Exactly. You want to be certain no one's tampered with your medication before it gets to you.
Okay, I'm starting to see those little seals in a whole new light.
Me too. Got to give them credit where credit's due.
All right, last question for this round. What does orphan drug designation mean?
Oh, this one sounds kind of sad.
I know, right? Is it A, a special program for training pigeons to deliver medicine?
Pigeons are pretty smart, but I don't think that's quite it.
B, a support group for lonely pills that haven't been swallowed?
Now that one does make me a little sad.
Or C, a special status that encourages companies to develop drugs for rare diseases?
Okay, so we've got pigeons, lonely pills, and rare diseases.
What's your gut telling you?
I'm going to have to go with C.
You are absolutely right. 3 for 3.
Woo! I'm a drug development whiz.
You are. So, orphan drug doesn't actually involve any orphans.
No, thankfully.
Yeah.
But it does involve some pretty incredible work.
Yeah, so it's basically like saying, hey, We know developing drugs for rare diseases can be a tough sell financially,
Right.
but it's super important, so we're going to give you some perks to make it a little easier.
Exactly. It might be things like tax breaks or longer periods of exclusivity before generic versions can be made.
So it's all about giving companies an extra incentive to develop these life-saving treatments, even if they don't have a massive market.
Precisely. It's all about making sure everyone has a chance at getting the treatments they need.
That's awesome. Okay, so that wraps up round one of our drug development game show.
We did pretty well.
We did. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with round two.
Can't wait. All right, welcome back to the deep dive. Are you ready for round two?
Ooh, I'm ready to rumble.
Perfect. This round is called Fact or Fiction, Drug Myths Debunked.
Ooh, sounds juicy.
Oh, it is. We're going to tackle some common misconceptions about pharmaceuticals.
It's like those wild rumors you hear from your aunt's neighbor's hairdresser.
Exactly. We're separating truth from fiction.
All right, let's get fact-checking. Statement number one, natural products are always safe because they come from nature. Fact or fiction?
This one's tricky.
I know, right? Like, I once ate an entire jar of natural ginger for a cold, and let me tell you,
Oh, no. What happened?
my stomach was not happy for days. So clearly, dosage matters.
It absolutely does. And that's why this statement is fiction.
Ooh, good call.
Yeah, just because something's natural doesn't mean it's automatically safe, you know?
Right, like poison ivy is natural too.
Exactly. Even natural substances need to go through rigorous scientific testing to make sure they're safe and effective.
Okay, that makes sense. You can't just assume Mother Nature knows best. Nope. All right, statement number two. Biosimilar drugs are just cheap knockoffs and not as good as the originals. Fact or fiction?
Ooh, this one hits close to home. I'm a total brand name snob, I confess.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I always go for the name brand stuff. I don't trust those generics.
Well, let me tell you, this statement is fiction.
Wait, seriously?
Seriously. Biosimilars aren't just some cheap imitation. They have to go through a super strict approval process to show they're highly similar to the original biologics.
So they're like the off-brand version, but with the same quality ingredients.
Pretty much. And they can be a game changer for making those life-saving treatments more affordable.
Maybe I need to rethink my brand loyalty.
Just saying.
Right.
Okay, last one for this round. Statement number three. Drug companies can just put whatever they want in those tiny capsules nobody's checking. Fact or fiction?
Okay, this one freaks me out a little bit. Like, what's really in my medicine cabinet?
Don't worry, you can rest easy. This statement is a big fat fiction.
Phew. Okay, so someone IS watching. Oh yeah, big time. Impurity testing is a huge deal in drug development.
Impurities, like what does that even mean?
Basically, it means anything in the drug that's not supposed to be there.
So like extra ingredients they forgot to mention on the label?
It could be that, or it could be tiny traces of chemicals from the manufacturing process.
And that matters.
Absolutely. Even tiny amounts of impurities can affect the safety and effectiveness of a drug.
Wow, okay, I never thought about that.
Yeah, so the FDA has super strict regulations about how drugs are made and tested to make sure those impurities are kept to an absolute minimum.
All right, that makes me feel a lot better about swallowing those capsules.
Good. Okay, are you ready for the final round?
Bring it on. I'm feeling like a drug development expert now.
Great, because it's time for the lightning round. All right, time for the final round, lightning round. Think fast, because the clock is ticking.
Ooh, I feel the pressure.
It's a rapid-fire true or false drug development edition. Ready to see how much you've really learned?
Let's do it. Hit me with your best shot.
Okay, first one. Preclinical testing in animals is always required before a drug can be tested in humans. True or false?
Well, we talked about how important those animal studies are for safety, so I'm going to say true.
You got it. That's true.
Yeah.
It's all about minimizing risks before you even think about giving a drug to a human.
Okay, good to know. Next question.
All right, here we go. The FDA doesn't just approve drugs, they also monitor them even after they're on the market. True or false?
Okay, this one sounds tricky, but didn't we talk about something called post-market surveillance?
We did.
So I'm going to say true again.
You're on a roll. That's absolutely true. The FDA's job doesn't end once a drug is approved. They keep a close eye on things, making sure no unexpected side effects pop up.
Wow, that's reassuring to know. What else you got?
Okay, next up. Ethical considerations are only important in clinical trials with human participants. True or false?
This one's making me think. We talked about informed consent and stuff for human trials, but what about those animal studies?
Good point.
So I'm going to go with false on this one.
You are absolutely right. Ethical considerations are super important throughout the entire drug development process, whether we're talking about animal studies or human trials.
Okay, two more than I can breathe.
Here we go. Accelerated approval pathways mean a drug can be approved without any evidence that it works. True or false?
Accelerated approval, so it sounds like they're speeding things up. But to say NO evidence, that just doesn't sound right.
What do you think?
I'm going with false.
You are correct. False it is. Accelerated approval doesn't mean skipping evidence. It means the FDA might consider different types of evidence, especially for serious conditions where there aren't many treatment options.
Okay, phew, that makes sense. Last one, bring it on.
All right, final question. If a drug is approved in Europe, it's automatically approved in the US as well. True or false?
Ooh, interesting. Well, we talked about the ICH trying to harmonize things globally, but to say automatically approved in the US, I'm not sure.
What's your gut telling you?
I think it's false.
Yeah.
Different countries have different regulations, right?
You are absolutely right. It's false. While the ICH guidelines do help streamline things, each country has its own approval process.
Wow. I can't believe we made it through the lightning round.
And you aced it.
Thanks to you. I feel like I could teach a drug development class now.
Well, maybe not quite. But I think we've all learned a lot about the incredible journey a drug takes from a scientist's idea to your medicine cabinet.
Seriously, it's way more complicated than I ever imagined. But it's fascinating, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it's all thanks to the hard work and dedication of so many people working behind the scenes to make sure we have safe and effective treatments.
Yeah, so next time I see those little tamper-evident seals on my pill bottles, I'm going to give them a little nod of respect.
Me too. They're like tiny little superheroes protecting our health.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive into the world of drug development.
It's been a blast.
A huge thank you to you for joining us today and sharing your expertise.
The pleasure was all mine. I always love talking about this stuff.
And to our amazing listeners, we hope you've enjoyed this game show-style adventure.
We sure had fun putting it together for you.
Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to some great resources if you want to learn even more about drug development.
And as always, stay curious.
Until next time, stay healthy.